Hi everyone, I'm Ananya Mariam Rajesh, the Associate Sub-Editor at Fibre2Fashion, and today with us I have Nicole, the founder of Canopy Planet. Hi Nicole.
Hi, great to be here.
Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us.
Of course.
And one of the first questions I would want to place to you
Yes.
is about, it's been discussed all the year, and one of the major ones has been how next gen fibers is going to be the thing. And how do you think is India placed in this aspect?
Oh, India is so well placed to be a preferred next gen sourcing region for the fashion industry globally. There's already a strong manufacturing backbone here. There's already kind of like trust built with the global sector. Obviously, in the EU, there's a raft of regulations coming into place that do restrict the entry of some of the more conventional kind of fibers that the industry's historically been built on. And India has an incredible volume of both textile waste as well as agricultural residues. And so India's got this very exciting opportunity to kind of leap to the fore and set the pace globally as a next-gen materials provider.
And do you think the amount of, like you said, the textile waste that we produce in the agricultural residue, how closer do you think we are to producing something like a next-gen fiber using it? And in what timeline do you see India probably in the race for that?
Well, today we just launched publicly a project that we worked on with brands like H&M and Reformation and CNA, along with the value chain and the Loudest Foundation. It's called the Lapis Project, as the first application of wheat straw into a lyocell fiber. So there are three main fibers used by the fashion industry: synthetics, cotton, and then viscose. And lyocell is part of the viscose family. It was a pilot trial to show that it was actually an option, a sustainable option for the fashion industry, and the pilot was incredibly successful.
And when you see it, you talk about, say, viscose and cotton, they are the conventional ones, right? And how do you think NextGen can actually compete with these conventional ones? Because people still want a synthetic one, or people still want the feel of a cotton. So where do you think they place there?
Yeah, I mean, the industry is very reliant on these legacy fibers, but with climate change, with regulations, continuing to be solely reliant on cotton, on viscose that's made from wood from the world's forests is increasingly risky. And I think brands are very conscious with the Strait of Hormuz,
Yes.
how vulnerable
It's become right.
it can be to be so reliant, especially when there are pinch points. And when it comes to viscose, there's more than 300 million trees that cut down every year to make viscose textiles. Forests are burning at record rates, and so it is increasingly volatile, it's increasingly unpredictable, and the projections are that there will be price shocks. And so the value proposition, the imperative to build a more resilient, more diversified fiber basket is very high on brands' priority list. And so that's where NextGen really comes into play, be it textile to textile recycling. With chemical recycling, there's already a lot of mechanical recycling done here, but it's really around blended textiles and how you can separate them out, as well as we see today with Project Lapis, the ability to bring rice paddy, wheat straw, and other agricultural residues into a textile fiber basket.
Got it. Since we spoke about NextGen, one other topic is the scaling of NextGen materials.
Sure.
And when I think I spoke last month to Tasha, she's from yes, Tasha
Yes.
Lipidas, I'm sure you know her. So she was telling me about how scaling is always focused on the fiber but not on the infrastructure. So do you think the infrastructure to scale the kind of fiber that's needed in a next gen material is what's yet to be built or is in the building form? What are your thoughts about those?
Yeah, I mean, we have an exciting opportunity. There's growing market interest. We've got pilots and innovators that show that it's possible. And so it now really is about building that scale capacity, commercial scale production. And so that requires us to send the right market signals, to back the right technology horses, the ones that are strongest, as well as to mobilize the scale of capital and investment that's needed. And so I think those are some of the big pieces that Canopy is working to try and enable and help catalyze, and for that to happen here in India.
And when you look at the next gen fibers, it's in existence maybe or being made. Some of it you're working with already. What do you think are your favorites, or why do you think they are your favorites?
Well, this shirt is actually next gen.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's made with discarded textiles. It's a cotton textile to textile viscose blend. So it's just to showcase that next gen, it can sound quite futuristic,
Yes.
but actually they're here now
You're wearing
today,
it.
good
Yeah.
quality.
Yes.
And so I think for me, I'm really excited around the ability to scale the textile to textile advanced chemical recycling into viscose to help displace forests out of that fiber basket, to build more resiliency in that fiber basket, and obviously to avoid pollution associated with textile discardment. But I think, especially here in India, the ability to take paddy or agricultural residues like wheat straw or banana residues and make really good quality textiles from that feels like a real breakthrough as well.
Got it. And any specific innovation that you're looking forward to, be a part of, a Canopy plant is in the pipeline for?
Is there a particular technology, an individual technology, or more broadly?
Maybe more broadly also.
Yeah.
Something you're looking to.
I mean, this is less on the fiber innovation technology side and more on the how do we move capital into actually helping scale on the timelines that we need. We are working quite a bit to help structure and enable more blended finance to move into enabling the whole next gen ecosystem to move both from the waste pickers and the farmers who are going to be aggregating the inputs right through to the commercial producers. So that's an area of innovation in the space more broadly that we're excited about.
Great to know about it.
Yeah.
And my last question is what everybody has been talking about. The EU is coming up with your DPP and EPR, and my conversations with next gen researchers or people who, like you, are neck deep into it, has been about how DPP is probably the starting point and EPR is like the ending one. So, what are your thoughts about these two policies going into place, and where does next gen fit in this?
Next Gen takes the guesswork out of policy compliance, and so that's an incredible advantage with scaling Next Gen, and for brands and producers to be prioritizing as of today and as of tomorrow, Next Gen at scale, not waiting. These regulations are coming into place, and the other thing is that Canopy's just completed some economic modeling around the scaling of Next Gen, and just given the geopolitical volatility that there is at the moment, and that the immediate adoption of 5% Next Gen between now and 2028 actually is a no regret pathway for producers, for manufacturers, for brands, and actually puts it on track to be price parity within the 4 to 5 year mark, and at least 50% of the fiber basket will be Next Gen within the decade. And so I think that kind of momentum and the ability to just make that economic case without policy is very compelling. If you put EPR, if you put ESPR, if you put the
DPP.
Exactly, if you layer those on top of it, then it's not really even a choice.
It just has to happen,
Yeah.
kind of thing. Thank you so much, Nicole, for your
Yeah,
time.
of course.
Lovely chatting with you, and I hope you have a very good day.
Thanks, and good
Thank
luck
you
with
so-
your
thank you
steps.
so- Thank you.